Whip round the block a night or two. I know my time best when with you. Visit the ocean when we do.
Say your names, like who you guys are.
I'm Jake is next. Well, I go by J.I.N, and this is my producer, engineer, also one of the best artists I've ever heard, and he can introduce himself as well.
My name's Ryan. I go by Delta Fade. And thank you very much for having us today.
Thank you guys for coming. So where are you guys from? Where you guys your upbringing come from? Like born, raised, and all that.
I'm from Plastown, New Hampshire, and I live in Derry right now, but I spent the majority of my life in Plastown, and I'm from the southeast New Hampshire, and pretty much the same with him too. Went to the same school growing up and everything.
Yeah, I started off like I was born in Mass, but from a wicked young age, grew up all around him. Same with Timberlane, Plaza area. And then like sophomore year, moved out to Mass, graduated, came back, and I've just been like all around, all different areas. So like, never helped myself to say like I've been from a certain area, because like, I feel I've just been in so many different areas and so many different groups of people that like, it's just like, I feel like I can't call a certain place home just yet. So I've just been like, doing whatever I've been doing and moving where I've been going.
So at what age do you think, for like both of you guys, that music really started to like connect to a point that was further than just listening to it?
Well, I think I've been surrounded by music since I was a kid. Like my whole family's very musically oriented, as my mom's side is. So I grew up fucking around with radios and stereos and all that stuff, and so it started at a mad young age. But I think by the time I was like 12 or 13, I started getting really serious about recording, messing around with pianos and stuff.
But I think like 2018 is when we really seen like we have like what a lot of people don't. So like he was always making music before me. Like he used to be making EDM all the time. Like, and I used to be sitting by his side watching him make everything, seeing him distribute shit and post it on live for all the EDM things. And I would just say to him like, "Yo, we need to fucking get a mic, maybe record." And after a few years, we started doing it. And then I'd say, bro, yeah, probably like 2018 is when like we really like kind of looked at ourselves and we're like, we're really actually have talent, can actually do this shit, which actually was like crazy, because we came from a background of, he had a very musical family, but for me, example, like I didn't have any of that kind of shit. So for him, it was like I love being around, seeing that, so that's what inspired me to do it. And now we're here for where we are.
That's dope. Is that roughly when you changed your name from Euphoric to what it is now?
That is around that time. I remember, so I started as Euphoric when I was making strictly. It was around like that 2018, 2019. I started as Euphoric. Well, really, I started under my name Ryan Cole, and then in like 2014 I made the Euphoric switch, and then I was heavy into making EDM like all platforms and everything since 2015. And by the time like he started, piquing an interest in the studio and whatnot, wanting to get on, that was around the time I wanted to start singing on the shit and getting like, I was in the lo-fi phase and everything, future bass, and I think it was just time to make that switch to contemporary music. And around that time is when I pretty much, like Euphoric didn't work. Plus there was another dude, I probably still would be Euphoric, but there's another guy in Vancouver named Euphoric, and he was Euphoric first, so I probably would have stayed Euphoric if it weren't for that. But we both kind of were starting to clash with each other on like, not in a bad way, but like his music and my music were starting to kind of pick up a little bit, because I was like getting some like under like Reddit love, what I mean? So, like, it's EDM, it's easy.
Yeah.
So I changed my name because he was Euphoric first, and then it's been Fade ever since.
Okay.
And that was the same like with me, like when we started and he changed his name, I had my first name as Two Side, and it was like TU and then SIDE, like he was like, "Well, what's that mean? Like that sounds goofy and sounds weird." So like I caved in to a lot of people telling me that they didn't get the meaning and it makes no sense. But for me, when I first started as like Two Side, I was like, there's two sides to a story. Like there's always happy, there's always sad, there's light and dark. And so like I seen a lot of people try to tell me, "Oh, you need to make happy shit, you need to do this," but in reality, like we all have feelings and it's a whole chart. So like one day I could be happy, one day I could be sad. So like I just really felt that Two Side was a good name, but in the long run I fucking seen so much hate from it, so I just changed it to Jake is Next, which now I'm Jake is Next, but I go by J.I.N, but no one refers to me as J.I.N. they refer to me as Jake is next, or I feel like it kind of also like makes me like, oh, well, what's that kind of name? But like for me, Jake is next stands for J.I.N, like J.I.N, which is what I think is still good, but it hasn't gotten like the eye people have, because every time I've ever done shows or like anything, they always say Jake is next, which is still great, but I think Jin is a more of a catchy name, like, and thing to catch the eye even more than Two Side, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, if it's Two Sides, why isn't it TWO and not TU? And like, so like, I kind of got that reference too, so like, I took the best of like both worlds and just kind of made my own thing, and I hope that people can actually like fuck with the name now and not give me shit. But you've also done good enough music to where like I feel like they can respect my choice or my decision, and same with his and like what we're making, creating. I feel like a lot of people out there that are just dying for like some music to listen to can actually connect with what we're saying and what we're doing, because we're like real ass fucking people. We don't hold stipulations on what we need to be or what artists act like. We just do what we want and how we do it. And I think that's the best way possible for us to keep doing it. Because if we try to act like someone else or hold stipulations of what the industry should be like, then we're just taking away our authenticity of our own artwork.
So that was you on the was it Hiding in Plain Sight project?
Yeah.
From way back when. I didn't know that was you. At first, I was like, oh, who's this guy too?
And that's like when I first started. So like that's what I mean, like, which is great, because like we started so like young and
getting
like
Nardwar vibes.
Yeah, really, like,
I appreciate that.
And it was just like great though, because like like I used to be around so many people that made music, and like for me, for example, like it's not like no sad shit from my family. They're not musicians. They're straight 9-to-5 workers, all doing their shit. So like when I opened up to them saying I want to do that, they was telling me I sounded like Ice JJ Fish and this and that, and giving me like criteria to like make myself doubt myself from the start. So like I would sit back and watch him make shit and my other friends make it, and they never even knew what I was doing. But meanwhile, like I was for hours and hours by myself, freestyling, singing, recording, writing, into a point where like where me and him really meshed and could just create what we wanted. To where now I feel like a lot of the same people that doubted us or me, for example, like can really say like now like they were wrong, or they can respect that like it took the time it has, because like it's honestly it's been a long ride, and we've been starting to get some pretty decent traction and doing like good shit, and it feels great. But at the same time, like I'm sitting there and he's probably sitting there like there's so much more to do, and then like there's so much more people to like show our shit to. Like we don't want to be just a town talent. Like we want to like make everyone feel good. Like we also don't want to be the artists that blow up and get the town tractions and think that they're too celebrity for anyone that supports them. Like I genuinely love fucking hanging out with any crowd, no matter who it is. Complete opposite. And I see with this generation, like everyone loves to like hang around people that look like them, act like them, talk like them, because they're afraid of any side views, a side like drama of people acting like, oh, why is this kid acting like that? Why does he look like this and you look like that? Like, people care too much about the outside looking in than your group and like the mentality of which y'all are maintaining. Which I think for us, it's always been great, because like no matter what situation, me and him can call each other like any minute of the day, working or on break or whatever, and just say what the fuck's on our mind, whatever, no matter how we feel about it. And within the next day, we can make a clear process of what the fuck we talked about and be right over it. To whether as dudes will hang around other people for 5-6 years and just like build jealousy and envy towards other people, when in reality, if you just opened up in certain points, y'all could just use that to come way closer and just build so many more foundations to build like a city, instead of trying to build a little fucking tower and crumbling it yourself because everyone wants to have like the crown, which is what I've seen with so many. And why I'm glad, like even like you invite us here, like so many people like, oh well, they ain't got traction, they ain't got this, they ain't got that. It's like, who gives a shit about that? It's exposure for both of us. Like if you're a good person, if you have good vibes and enjoy like the energy, and like why not do it? It's the makes the best of both worlds. We can all make a friendship and build bonds that can help each other out through the years. Why cut each other off for something that you could be afraid of or think that they could be better than you at? That's just like, I feel like if anything, if someone's better, you can learn from that more than cut it off and try and make yourself look better. To where like we can all just, if we came together, that an army is better than one strong soldier. In my eyes.
What's this question again? Is it all hiding in plain sight?
Don't do it. In general,
But so that was your guys'. Well, That was it your project?
It was his
necessarily?
project.
Yours?
His project.
Yeah, he went under. So he had 3 names. He went under Ultra Serene was the project that I first started put my voice on. That Blue Yeti. I didn't have a proper mic. You know what I'm saying? Like you need an XLR cable.
Is that when you had the cardboard mic stand?
Yes. Okay.
Dude, oh my God, you're good. Dude.
He's doing it. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. We had the cardboard mic stand with a Blue Yeti. People, you can't use a USB mic when you're trying to make professional music. I didn't realize that, and so I was like, I'm just my mixing. But his first name you were
Obscene.
You were Obscene. He was Obscene on Ultra Serene.
Yeah.
And he was 2 Side on Hiding in Plain Sight. All mixed horribly, by the way. So just keep it. Yeah, we
it's a learning process.
Well, at that point, you guys were what?
I was
like 19.
I was 18 when that dropped.
Yeah,
so I was
just
19.
Really starting to get into it.
That was because the vocal is a whole different world. It's a whole different, EDM. At that point, everything I'd made was organically produced. Like that had that. I like to think down pat, but like it was the vocal recording and whatnot. That was the that's like a whole new learning experience in and of itself. So luckily we're at the point now where it's kind of just at a somewhat professional level now. So but that was definitely during the learning days.
Yeah.
Just hiding in plain sight, and we're finding ourselves.
So that's so fucking crazy, What the fuck?
Cardboard mic stand. Well, dude, I didn't have one. It was like at the perfect height.
Right yeah.
In that album cover, it was like a south porch. Like it was like basically like looking out that window of like the New Hampshire like scenery. But he drew his own city and like his own like essence of like in his own head of like what he was envisioning. So like that video of like the city lights looking like that was us looking out that same window where you seen the picture of the cardboard mic.
Okay.
It's stand like so it was it's great that you even like.
So you actually drew
said that? Yeah, he drew it.
It's a crudely drawn one.
He dude, he's very like with everything to where anything we've created that's like it's always came from a stem of something that came in his head, and he would just put it there and lay it out, and it's just like having a blank piece of fucking paper, and he makes a little like thing, and then we just branches off to more and more, and it's like for us like it's just been great because we build off each other's hype off of it, and like. He reads my energy when I'm feeling it, and like I read his when he's feeling it, and it's just like I don't know, like for us, like it's just been amazing to even till we know if it goes viral or not.
Yeah.
We've always said everything that we thought was a great song. We've had the most authentic like feeling. Like I can't even like say it. But, like we've just been so like raw with how we feel about shit, to where it doesn't matter if it's gonna go like viral to the whole world. To where if it's special to us, like we make sure we know that like. It meant a lot to both of us because it like for me it's just been a long ride for a lot of shit, and for me and him to finally see that people are rocking with us, like I always say to him like constantly like dude like this is it, like we're doing the good shit, like this is what we've been fucking hoping for, and we've been talented for it, and like now it's just like you like even hit me like I appreciate everyone just coming around, even opening doors that weren't open, just giving like us a chance, and like us giving you a chance. Like it's just great to like meet new people and be around new people, which is I can't even thank you enough too to even be here right now.
Yeah, always, anytime. And like I told Jake, you as well. If I'm gonna do a podcast and you guys want to slide, I probably do them like every Saturday, Friday time. So if you guys want to slide, just let me know.
I'd love to.
100%.
I appreciate you having me through because he told me he was like doing this podcast and he told you about it. I think on Wednesday. I was like, I hope they know because I'm not trying to intrude, but I do definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. So, as growing up, you said you had a lot of influences because your parents are like not maybe on your mom's side. You were saying right, a lot of musical talents and all that stuff. At what point did you start like mix and mastering songs, projects, and that?
So it all kind of so I started using FL Studio when I was like 13, and I just kind of had the whole like do it all yourself mentality ever since then. And so I never was in the mind of using my own vocals when I first started, and I was heavy into EDM. Skrillex is my biggest influence ever, still to this day. I think his shit's so badass. He was my biggest influence then. I was always trying to get on Monster Cat, which is a electronic label on YouTube.
Okay.
And that was my whole goal, even though this shit I made would never get on Monster Cat. It would never. But so I just kind of was heavy heavy, almost daily into trying to make beats for like years and years up until like 2017, where I kind of felt like it was becoming redundant. I had kind of stopped, like, because I had like an EDM community on YouTube and all. I was talking to people over Skype, people I didn't know and all that.
Yeah.
And you know, they all kind of stopped making music or went in their separate ways. So I was like, and I was like, I got to a point where I was kind of starting to make rap, starting to kind of take influence from like MF Doom and Earl Sweatshirt and all that stuff, and just I was like, I'm getting into this stuff now. So that was around the time Jake started expressing interest in it, around 2017, trying to get on the track. So it just kind of happened at the perfect time.
Okay.
And that was when I was like, you know what, I can sing. I'm gonna start singing. And that was around the time, because I was always mixing and mastering my own beats and stuff, but it's a whole different game when it comes to like vocal mixing. And so I'd say like when I got serious about it, it was around 2017, 2018. I wasn't good at it, but that's what I was trying to do.
Okay, and then that's obviously when you dropped Hiding in Plain Sight.
Yeah.
A few years later, during COVID, you guys dropped, what was it, the West Industry mixtape?
Yeah, Wild East Industry.
Yeah, Wild East Industry, yeah. How was the process of making that?
It was great. That was it. Yeah, around that. So I'd say Wild East Industry, as far as like our discography is concerned, that was like the first album where it was like, okay, now we're in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, a lot of that was us like, the oldest track on that was Variants, and we made that in like mid 2019, and it was around the time that I had stopped dropping from like in 2019-ish, because like I was kind of trying to work on my stuff. I was getting a lot of criticism from my friends, myself, like not Jake. Jake's you know, he's great, but like I had other friends that are like, oh, I don't like this, doesn't sound good, all that stuff. So I like stopped dropping for a while. I was working on an album called Headcase that never saw the light of day. Remember the eyeball?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So I spent for 2 years working on that.
That's what you used for Ultra Serene, right? Or Lucid, the eyeball.
Lucid was supposed to be on that.
Yeah.
And so was Deep End and all those tracks. Agawan McDonald's, like they were also. I didn't drop for a while because I was working on this album, but I never dropped the album because it didn't sound good. It was like I was trying way too much. I was experimenting. The mixing was off. I knew it was off, but I loved the direction I was heading in, and so I wasn't dropping for a while. And then during that time, me and Jake were making tracks, and so Wild East Industry largely is a collection of tracks me and Jake made over that period of time. That once I started kind of gaining a clue of mixing a little more. If you look back on Wild East Industry now, it's still a little wonky, the mixing, but it's like definitely a step in the right direction. And but yeah, so Wild East Industry is largely a collection of the tracks me and Jake made over that time. And yeah, and then thus it was born. And now we're working on Wild East Industry 2.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, dude.
And this-
I'll send you some shit.
And this
Okay, yeah.
this one, you know, we knew
Yeah,
from the
dude.
start it was gonna be Wild East Industry 2, so that's why we're
Okay.
excited.
I've been real excited, and he's been real excited, and also like I said, I just had my first paid gig last Saturday,
Nice.
and I sent him some of me and his like shit for the album that's coming, and I told him after performing, and the DJ contacted like the owner of the brewery I performed at, and immediately, because he had some of the shit that I sent to for the album, he immediately hit me back within 10 minutes and told me to tell Ryan like, we're locking in like the album release, and he's letting us have our whole album release there like at his establishment. And also this 420 is he's having like a smoke friendly event for like 420, and he asked me to like open up for that too. And I asked him, and he's hasn't answered yet, but I guarantee you, because he loves Brian's shit too, so we're gonna be able to maybe perform some of our old shit, or maybe even like sneak a fucking preview of like performing one of our songs off the album, which could help us out in the long run. Which like I said, like it's for that, like it's just been a lot, because like we've been going so hard and trying shit, and to have someone like have us come to like a pretty decent establishment.
Yeah.
And like, I only performed 4 songs, and he paid me a pretty decent like amount. I'm not gonna disclose the amount, but he paid me a great amount for what I thought for my first paid gig. And from talking to Ryan about what we've been creating and what I've sent him, like it has just boosted our like momentum and like mentality of music and what we're doing. And like just again to say, like from when we started from like 2018 to think like now like we're gonna be paid to perform our album in front of people, like it's just amazing. And to think that like there's still so much room to grow and like learn from it, and like you see all sorts of different life from all places. Like I cannot wait for what me and him like can do for like next year.
We've had that conversation too. Like it's got the money is like the last thing that's on our minds when it comes to this shit. Cause like we pay people to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a blessing to have venues around here that could fucking want to support us and reach out and stuff like that. And that one's gorgeous. Spigot River in Lawrence, gorgeous. It's
It was a beautiful.
it's like tuned to our style. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you go to a lot of venues. It's a lot of like rap, which is great. We rap. We spit every so often, but
Yeah, but we like
this is
to
more
see-
like
yeah.
this is more that like R&B style,
Yeah.
like
We like
Smoke
sticking
Machine.
to our image. We don't want to go to a trap show where dudes is like say
Other
like
stuff.
Moneybag, like fucking NBA YoungBoy.
Yeah.
Type. We don't like, and it's like out of respect for them. It's like even if you might like it, we don't want to like
We
be
come in
invited
slow
to.
the
Yeah,
fucking tempo.
we don't
Yeah,
want to
you
invite.
can't
Yeah,
slow
we don't want to
it
be
down.
invited to your event and perform heartbroken, sad songs where you guys don't even know us. It's like we don't want to mix chemistry
Yeah.
and make you all off the bat think like you want to have a problem or like, yo, why the fuck are these musicians like? I'm thinking of like I want to be the most like collective energy and be able to build off of each other and
Yeah.
like be cool like and like I've seen for like a lot of it's not like saying like that's like how this area is, but I've just noticed a lot of people from like the New Hampshire Mass area. It's like if you're not making like the exact type of what they're doing or just like fitting their wave, like it's not good to them, which you can appreciate and understand, but you forget there's fucking loads of genres and endless genres of people that enjoy other things to where like that's why for us it's been great because we always stay ourselves and do what we want and people like us to where we can still hang around with kids that make trap shit or make R&B or make all this and that and like we can all still hang out and mesh and make like the same artwork or at least respect each other for what
Yeah.
we're doing, which is like an amazing thing because with the world right now like there's just so much negativity and breeding like just like anything you post is people you're looking for the people talking shit more than
The
people
actually
coming together
bring-
wanting to branch together and build something like to where I feel like me and like him what we're doing is just like a real authentic vibe and like to where it doesn't matter who you are if we don't personally like what you're doing like we still show you the respect and give you what you're due like we don't act like we're better than anyone else and we don't need to because at the end of the day like we are ourselves there's no need to act like you're the best around when there's endless amounts of like entities in life and shit like I just feel like though we're just really doing something different. I appreciate like just everything that's happened around us.
So how was something that's like a little bit different than what you guys, a little bit more up tempo? How was the Imperio show?
That was cool. That was his gig.
Yeah.
It was great. That's what I mean. Like yeah, we're them. It's where like I have done a lot of like side work trying to get us gigs and trying to do shit, but to where like he has thanked me enough. But the thing is like it works both ways. Where he'll thank me for doing shit like that, but in reality. I can't thank him enough because he gives endless hours of working a 9 to 5 and then to come home and produce my shit, record me, engineer it, make beat breaks to the same beat. Like, I appreciate all of that shit to where, like, it was definitely different for us to perform there, but I'm close with Shisco, he's close with Shisco, he's produced stuff to where, like,
Okay.
they gave us the opportunity and, like,
Shisco fucking killed
yeah,
it.
and to be honest, and I feel like, and that was good work. For example, like, to those, that's the opposite crowd of like what we make. But what I said to him, where like he wanted me and him to go like later in the show and start, but out of my own like thought, I was like, I think we should go first, be the singing, get the crowd like hearing and wrapped in, kind of cultivate them right into the fucking show, and then you guys get the hype and make them go nuts. And that like your previous, and even be like that goes a long way with certain people because. Other people, even though they know it doesn't fit the vibe, they only care about what they're doing and what they're getting out of it. So they want to be the main part of the show, which I'm glad that I did first because me and him, like after the show, I got so many messages of saying like, you guys sounded the best, you guys this, it's not no talking to anyone else because it sounded amazing, but like, I just feel like it's just like also a thing to like when we take a step out for other people to help them out. I feel like even though they don't see it, like it's appreciated and you're gonna get good things back to you when you have a good set and you're not acting out selfishly and doing what you personally want and just thinking of my time's gonna come and we're gonna do what we need to do whenever it happens, which is way better than what I've seen so many people ruin relationships and music connections because they just think they're the top guy, they should get shit for free or vice versa, whatever, like. And I just would love to, again, just treat anyone the same. Like, where I could have a best friend that's a 9 to 5, same way as a kid that could be fucking going on tour all year and making great money. Like, those people equivalent the same to me. Like, it all depends your heart and how you treat people. To me,
Okay. So how did you guys build that, or how did that relationship start with Shishko?
He hit. You guys found each other on Instagram.
yeah, it was actually so Rerouted, a local like collective that's up here doing a lot of great things too. He we had make some projects and like some songs, and he was like asking for New Hampshire artists to send him stuff, and I sent him a few of our unreleased stuff from me and his stuff, and he actually liked it and put it on to like his first project for Rerouted, like the Rerouted Records one.
Yeah.
He put that on there, and so Shisco and his friend Guzzy, they ended up liking it, and a lot of people, same with other people, like we have a friend named John Jewett from Manch and other people that we wouldn't even have those friendships if we didn't even. Yeah, and Tav.
Was Johnny Vargas on that?
Yeah, no, he wasn't, but he knew because of like Shisco and stuff. But again, like because of that, it gave us so many connections and great friendships with other people. Like and like I just said, like it was just I don't even know how to explain it. It was just great because we had something to offer for ourselves, to where it was a lot different from what everyone's making than to have other people from other areas respect it. Like Shisco, for example, like he had a way better following, better sound than what we used to say, like database and stat wise for us. But for him to like offer himself to us and be close to us, and now like me and him talk regularly, and he has songs with him, I have songs with him, we have unreleased shit with him, like it's just great because like something so small that like a lot of people would be like, oh, I ain't getting paid, or like they'll brush it off. But like for us, like that little thing could be the same thing that can take you guys levels higher, or meet great connects that can help boost what you want to do for your career.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad for that because I met great ass fucking people, and yes, bad shit has happened, but what's a few bad things to a load of good?
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't know if you guys saw this recently. Millie's mentioned how from Boston or Massachusetts, New England area, basically, like you have to work 10 times harder because no one made it out.
I agree.
Have you guys ever thought about leaving the New England area and going somewhere else for the musical aspect?
Yes. I 100% him, I can't speak for him, but for me, I've definitely said this so many times because I've almost like moved out with Cisco and been out there just to like find a spot to be around them. But in reality, it's like I would have cut myself off to be able to make my authentic music and my sound through him. And I just would have also been, again, trying to do what other people need and what they think to make it. And for like a lot of people too, they move out of there because they don't like to open themselves up to other people. They like to think of other people treat them like a top dog. But in reality, like with the Millie situation where he's even been mistreated, but that's because like same with where if you think about Celtics or anything, like just like there's a collective of positive shit, and there's some people that just have something out against them, to where Boston's like that, but there's so much talent and so much love in there too, to where there's always a negative outweighing the positive, to where we've had good and bad things, but so many people wherever we've gone, shows, made music, no matter what the crowd or what they live their lifestyle, they've always appreciated our shit and like been real to us, to where like we've had great genuine love, to where the hate will be portrayed and posted and not the love and what we receive, to where like it's a big, from Boston, Mass, and New Hampshire, it's a big 50-50 for us, to where it's just jealousy and envy and love, and like it's just like there's so much shit around here.
I never considered, you brought up a couple of times moving out to LA. I never considered doing that. Reason being is I think I understand there's a lot more places to get exposure out in places like that, a lot more bars, a lot more venues. I figure like I want to like try to. I've been lucky for Jake because like he's been our conduit to like reaching out and stuff. So it's like I'm not someone that does that. I kind of just stay in my own lane, do my own thing, and hone in my own craft. So moving was never something I considered. I always just considered music to be trying to be the best I could be in my own element. You know what I mean? And then hoping, I know it would be more or less a pipe dream, but pretty much the way I'm going right now, I'm just hoping that it catches the right ear, because I'm pretty confident in our shit, and I'm not I know moving and playing more venues all across and all that stuff is gonna get you better exposure and whatnot, but at the end of the day, what I'm more focused on is perfecting my own craft and hoping that at some point that actually pays off.
Okay. Do you guys have any local artists, not necessarily like from you guys that you do know, like I don't know if you guys heard of J.I.N or people like that kind of like not blown up but made a decent following and transitioned to LA or stuff like that? Anyone that motivates you, maybe not like to travel elsewhere, but give you that like extra oomph and like extra like wanting to grind more?
Do they have to be local necessarily?
Maybe not local, but just an artist in general.
Yeah, because I'm really out of the loop when it comes to like just contemporary music in general. Really, I don't know. Well, I feel like a lot of my favorite artists are industry plants.
Well, for me, have you ever heard of an artist named Breakins?
No.
For me, like, he was a real underground type. I don't know exactly where he's from, but he was like almost like the same type of us. Like, it's like a place where it's not a lot known for music, but you have a different, genuine type style to where I've listened to him, and since like 2017, 18, I've been watching him, and he went from like 10,000 views to now like 1 million views in like 5 months, and it's like crazy to see, like, again, like just people that stay authentic to themselves and be real with what they believe in goes a long way than to those like mixing and changing what they want to do to fit in with what's going on with like the industry. Because like even like let me think of someone else, like
I guess Kid Laroi.
Like Kid Laroi too, but Kid Laroi, like you can say he's technically an industry plant, but also he came from
Well, he had it in with the right people.
He came in with like Juice WRLD. Like, he wouldn't be known without Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD found him and brought him into his own home.
Yeah.
And basically made his career, which is like shit like that. Like, to like, that's what like the type of person I want to be, like Juice WRLD. To like, I can see someone with talent and not be like, oh, that he's good, and ignore him and say fuck him because he might be my competition. Like, if I hear someone that I genuinely like and we genuinely like, we try to we'll reach out and hit them up and try and gravitate them towards like us, or not because we think it's gonna give us better viewage or sound, but because we genuinely like certain sounds and what we hear. So we'd rather make something with someone that we enjoy rather than someone who has clout and has views, in essence. Because we've had plenty of opportunities to do it. People have had like clout, but it just wasn't the sound or didn't mesh well. It's like, we don't want to make you look bad or make us look bad in a way. So we've always just stayed in our own lane and done what we want. The same way with, we have like so many dudes like Shisco and so many people to where there's so many polar different artists, but we respect each other as our own creative, and we'll share each other's music and not even have to feature on each other's, because we understand that we're different. But when the time comes, we'll get together and make a feature, but at the same time we have our own craft and like feeling about other shit.
Okay. Yeah. So, what is a dream collab that you guys like, for you and you, that you guys would want to do?
I don't mind.
For me, it'd be like I'd love to have Sway Lee on the track. Vocally, at least like the past couple of years, I think John Mayer is like.
I knew it.
I can't really play the guitar, but I look up to John Mayer in such a way where I'm like, dude. Like, you can even hear on some of the shit that I do sometimes. It's like, I'm trying to be like, just he like the way he like free forms on tracks. And
yeah.
Like, what he does is, I just find it so gorgeous. John Mayer, Sway Lee, at least like that was something that would match my sound. I don't know. Everyone else I really fuck with is like dead now. Imagine Bobby Womack on a track.
He loves his old school
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, honestly, I've always felt Sway Lee, like, just I feel like me and him, we could mesh in such a way.
So what about Sway Lee's vocals or his music that he makes that like really like attracts you in that sense?
I think it's angelic. He's angelic. Like tracks like TR-666, tracks like that. Like
he has some great.
I just think like with the way I mix in sort of a lo-fi fashion, kind of like heavy reverb, heavy delay. I just think if you're watching this, Sway, come on over. That's what I'm saying. That he just something that I think like would work so well with like, because everything I make is like spacious.
Yeah.
I just think he'd kill it. Travis Scott. But
yeah, dude. Yeah. Travis Scott is a big influence in him. So I'm glad
I love Travis
that.
Scott. Yeah.
But and for me though, I'd say he's passed, so I won't be now. But like X, I used to love XX like that. The way like he could just switch genres and just be so many, like, that's like the same how what we are, like, we can do so many different genres, but we always, like, we stick to what we're feeling, so, like, we can do it when we want in the mental state, but, like, we keep to what we like, to where X would be my first, and a lot of people, like, will probably agree with me, like, where, for me, making music, everyone refers to me, like, and looking like Post Malone and sounding like Post Malone. But even before I even made music, like when he dropped Stoney, but when, like, that's what I mean. Like it's always a look. Even like when I just had my first paid gig, I did that, and I had at least 5 people come to me like, "Anyone ever told you look like Post Malone?" Like it sounded like I just love like the vibe was giving me. I'm like, I don't want to have that vibe because I don't want to sound like a copy. But at the same time, which was sucks because he's a huge influence on me. To where like I love to make a fucking track and like Stoney is the album that really made me like sit and listen and be like, this is what I want for myself and what I want to do. So to have him on a track would be fucking amazing. And then also we said before like Kid Laroi, it'd be X, Post, and Kid Laroi, like, or Drake, but.
Yeah, I love
Drake is a, like, for me, like that dude is like a god to the industry.
Yeah.
To where like
people gotta
you
put
have
respect
to
on
you
Drake.
have to go above and beyond to ever to be like fathomable to be in comparison or get a track with him. And for me, like but there's just so many great artists. Yeah, it was definitely X, Post, and Kid Laroi.
Cause I haven't fucking Post in a long time. Like I really, like, ever since it was really just Stoney, but it came out when I was like 17, and so I'd say collectively Stoney's probably the most like that album was a big deal.
I had friends that would come. I put them onto it, and they're like, "That's the dumbest shit I ever heard." Like, bro, I don't fuck with that. Months later, if they went through a breakup or a hard time with a girl, or just gave it a month or two to listen to, or probably with social media and the charts caught up to it, they're all of a sudden hit me up going, "Bro, this is like one of the best albums I ever heard of," and I'm like, "See, like, yo, if you just like let your heart speak and your actual liking," because I used to be the same when I was younger. I like sing with again. You like certain shit, and you're playing with a certain group of people, and then once you leave your car, like, you see memes. You play like country, or you play fucking sad R&B. Like a lot of people tend to hide their likings and their true selves from other people from judgment. Where if you just like were fully yourself, there's no room for judgment because then you're opening yourself up for people to accept you for who you are and not have to worry about. Because they already know what you're gonna do, so like if you like, they know you like, you're accepted. And for me, I'm glad that I have him and a bunch of other people around me to where we can always be ourselves and be out of order to where we'll bring ourselves back down or just keep yourselves in check, but still have a great fucking time. Yeah. Which is I'm so glad to have like the people that I do around me, because if it wasn't for them, like who knows to say like if I even make music or what I'd even be doing in my mentality of things.
Yeah, I can tell that like you're yourself, you know, to the extent of like your aesthetic. It gives me that 70s, 80s vibe.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
So, what drove you to give like yourself that aesthetic? What type of art gave you that? Like, I want to dress like this. Or
I'd say he also was a big influence on me, but like more like old school. Like we used to like Bobby Womack and like fucking like Ray Charles, just like old stuff, like just stuff that like just gave you raw feeling and like. And for me, like, I've always just tried to caught up in my image and what I thought would be, like, good, what's looking good, and then I just came to a realization, like, a year and a half ago, like, I can't chase what people think they want me to be, like, I like what I like, to where people will come at me and be like, yo, your shit ain't it, like, it ain't no, like, and it's just, like, this fit, and just because to them it's not designer and not top brand shit, it's not okay, but then 15, 30 other people will look at me and be like, yo, I love that fit, like, yo, where'd you get it? And I'll look at them with a smile on my face and be like, Walmart and thrift, like, it didn't cost me more than $50. And so you think I look fly and I like my style and I know I look good, but like, again, I like to be authentic and be myself and not portray something that I'm not. Like, and for this kind of style, like, probably back to like, again, like old roots and being like real, like the same with real music, real sound, real you, real feelings. Like, it's not about everything pushed or liking one video and then a spam of 8 of that same video that you liked of just giving you negative energy or whatever. Like, I just like to live like for me and do what I like, because I've done years of trying to fit in and look the part for other people to get nowhere.
Yeah. Would you say that when you walked on like the runway that one time, it looked like?
Yeah.
That was kind of like you trying to fit in that sense, or was that you just being you still?
It was definitely like it was like kind of like that, but for me, like, I did that again. For me, I did that for a friend. A friend reached out and he was like, I'm doing like a show, a fashion show for my clothing line, and I'm making it. And he's like, I'm doing this, I want you to do that. And I'm like, do whatever you're making for your, like, what you want, what you envision, and I'll wear what you want. We're like, again, I'm not going to tell him what I'm going to wear and not wear, because that's going to take away from his mental state and what he's trying to create and craft. So, like, that definitely wasn't my style. But for like a runway show, like showing off someone's brand, and for a friend, to me, it's like, I'll do that 9 out of 10 times a week. Should I do it 10 out of 10 times a week? Like, I'll always be there for my friends and do what I think is going to help them and help me out. Because at the end of the day, it was a win-win. Like, I gave my time to help him out, but at the same time, like, I got to do like a runway show and something that I never did before, and I can see a different like crowd and different like energy of a different phase of like collectives. Like, music is different, like, where it's collectively the same, but like it's different energies between people enjoying the straight fashion and straight music, because it's just a different ear and a different eye looking out for certain things.
Would you ever do a runway show?
Yeah, I like, you know what, I've always been gassing him up for his fashion.
Yeah.
I'm not like someone that does that. I would fucking, this is me. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I've actually been getting a little interested in if I can have someone dress me up, I'll do it.
Okay.
But I don't have clothes in my wardrobe that would be like fucking out of the ordinary. But I am interested in it.
Okay.
I am interested in it. I always like a good fashion. I can't do it myself though.
Well, that's why I think we mesh so fucking well.
Someone to
Because
dress me
like,
up.
if you look at both of us, we're both polar opposite looks, but like when it comes down to like the heart, like we almost kind of think this. Like, we don't actually think the same, but we come together and think about like logically and realistically about shit. Like, we come together and we can say like, okay, you disagree with this. Like, again, it's not about looking at us, about him being the same. Like, I'm not going out and saying, oh, I don't want to hang out with you because you don't make me look good, which a lot of people do. To where I can dress like me, where he loves my style and would like to dress like me, but he just doesn't have it. To where, again, we go out with the stipulation of like, oh, you look fly, you don't. But in reality, he could be a better person than I am. Like, and for me, like, that's why like, I do what I want, I do what he wants. But like, why we can be so different and mesh together is because it don't matter. At the end of the day, like, we're both fly in our lives. It don't matter about what fucking clothes and what like things we put on our body. Like, we are our body and we are our like soul. Like, we treat each other the same like we want to be treated. And I'm just glad like that we have came so far and been able to still stay this close, being like so different but so the same, which is like amazing.
Yeah. So you guys don't think the same? Obviously, you guys don't dress the same. Do you guys still have the same love for like twisted teas and stuff like that?
No.
Now you're completely opposite.
No.
I can't drink that shit. I'm a big
No
seltzer
way.
head.
Seltzer?
He's
Okay.
a seltzer head. He's a hardcore
Okay.
like loves
Like
like
IPAs?
straight like you would think like he was from
Yeah,
Ireland.
boom sauce. I
type,
fuck with boom sauce.
You would literally think he was like an Ireland type dude, like the way his
Okay.
love for beer and crafted beers and different alcohols, like he appreciates the make of it, not like just what it is. For me, in a sense, like I drink for what I personally like and the taste. To where twisted teas, when I had it, it gripped me by the fucking balls, and I've just been sipping it ever since.
I like
To where
it.
everyone around me is like, "Why do you still sip them?" Like,
Yeah.
I know you know, and I know they are not good for you.
I like to switch it up. I mean, he just fucking been drinking tweez
I
for
was
like
gonna
6
say.
years.
It feels like it's part of your aesthetic at this point.
It has
Literally,
Like,
yeah.
it seems
And also
like-
to this point, too, like,
Oh,
they're gonna cut him some
literally,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Where it brings back like the Post Malone talk to us. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be him, but like, I want to be myself. To where Post Malone is that has Bud Light.
Yeah.
And like, I want to be able to create a music and a sound for myself that people love, but then also be able to appreciate the shit that's like I wear. Like, alcohol's not a great thing, but I love twisted teas, and why not try and get something else good out of something than just think of the negative and use it to fucking like keep drinking. Like, I'd rather try and make a positive out of negative than just fucking make a positive and keep doing negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just build off of anything that I can.
Yeah. So now you were saying he should get a check. I saw that you did get a check from Twisted Tea.
Yes.
What was that all about?
So, honestly, I have been sending them pictures of my Instagrams, like of me with the bottles and all my pictures, and they liked it and they'd responded and they were like, oh, I love the content, blah, blah. And then what really got them to send the check is I got a pack of tweezers one time, and when I opened the bottle, the glass was broken, and when I took a sip, it fucking cut my lip.
Oh shit.
To where like, again, no hate and no discrimination to the tea, but I hit them up and was like, no, it's freaking out. I was like, hey, like I love your product, and I don't want to create any drama tension between you guys, but I got a Twisted Tea product and I opened it, and my mouth just got cut right open from like drinking out of it, and like I know like I should have known if it felt weird and we're open, but still, like, you know, some people, if they're drunk, they open it, they get cut. I just want to let you know that could be a problem. 3 days later, they hit me up and they're like, we want to like recommend you, like we want to recommend you. We like thank you so much for like being honest and not like taking a different route from what you could have. And they sent me a $150 check.
Shit.
Send me a 12-pack as well. Like, and we're just like we're like happy to see what is to come from you. To where it's not like a definite of what I can get from them, but it's just like it was like a good note to say, hey, like they don't completely not see me, so like where I definitely need to do more to maybe get seen by them, but it's a work in progress, just like anything in life.
Yeah. So what would you say your go-to alcohol, beer, or?
Dude, I'm all over. So like, you heard of Peroni?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Those, fucking love Red Stripe.
Okay.
I love lime White Claws.
Okay.
Guinness on draft.
Oh yeah. Always.
Smittix on draft.
Okay. Do you like Irish car bombs?
What is that? I know.
So-
Is that like?
What it is I think it's what is it? Jaeger, Guinness, and Bailey's. And you have to drink it fast enough, or else the Bailey's curdles.
That's what it's. The
Oh,
Bailey's.
yeah.
That's what gets me. That shit's gross.
Yeah.
See, what'd you say? It was,
I think it's Jaeger.
Jaeger. Yeah, Jaeger's nice.
Jaeger,
Guinness
Guinness,
is fantastic.
and I think Bailey's. Yeah.
The I like Di Serrano.
Di Serrano?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff's good. That's very off topic, but I like Di Serrano. Yeah, those are my go-tos. I like Red Stripes in the summer. Nice
Yeah.
cold Red Stripe. Sir, you don't like beer. That's the thing.
Yeah, I
keep trying
don't
to get you to
really
drink beer.
No.
I love beer. Fuck it, I gotta cut it out.
So the brewery you guys that you performed at, what kind of beer did they make? Did they make like IPAs, or is it more?
It was like strictly more like IPAs and straight
like
certain
heavy
draft.
ales.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
It's
stuff
all
that like
craft beer.
Okay.
not like crazy known, like because they like to make they've made their own, so they sell their own. But yeah, they do like also some known IPAs and other stuff. But I also can't. I didn't really give my eye of attention because that's not like my expertise and what I like. So once I found out they didn't have Twisted Teas and that, I was like, oh, I don't want to like stick around and see everything you got. But they definitely have a great product and a great taste of shit. But for me, for my liking, it's not what I like enjoy.
Okay.
But I
So-
don't mean to ask you. Do you remember about them?
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
just need to take a piss. It's so bad.
Oh shit. So how? So do you just do? I saw like your studio setup. Do you do like your own like everything as a whole, like producing
You know,
all that
all
stuff?
the way down to the graphic design.
Oh shit.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we try to do everything in house. The just started with EDM, and so I got all the production aspect of it down at that point by like 2018, which is when we started trying to get some vocals on the track. And then I kind of made the switch to like a full-time alternative R&B kind of artist. I can't even say, I don't even know what genre I am anymore.
It feels like it's the R&B aspects there, and then you have some of the vocals. Like you feel like the effects on the vocals. I don't know. The sound somewhat is R&B, but then there's times where it's like not. I guess in a sense, but it's not fit into like rap or.
It really is just alternative.
I would, yeah,
you know what I
I'd say
mean?
it's like in between from. Like it doesn't have the heavy effects of like a hyper pop type thing, but it has similar effects, I guess, in a sense, from when I listen.
Because I have tracks with people like on Omnipresence and whatnot. Like I have tracks like Ultra that can reach that like pop
Yeah.
state, but typically, so when people make this mischaracterization that I make sad boy music, because like he does,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But like I've always been a melodic person, and so like I'm so drawn to like I've always been a lo-fi, like Radiohead type shit.
Yeah.
Like I've always been drawn to just like melodic, spacious music, and that's what I create. And people sometimes people think it's like more emotional than it really is. You know what I mean? So that's like a lot of my music is down tempo, like stuff like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we do get poppy. Depends on who I have featured in the studio at the time, but typically our sound is more low, down tempo.
Yeah. I think what song was it? I think it's Temptations.
Yeah, that one was
that was very
dancey.
poppy. You reminded like a dance hall kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
And I saw that it took you guys you said a few hours to produce the whole thing and everything, all that.
Temptation was a very quick track. That was a
Yeah, literally
that
probably
one,
max
an hour and a
2.5 hours, but that's including like stopping and having side conversations and just like fucking looking at each other being like, yo, this is fucking fire, like this and that. To like probably only took an hour and a half like logistically to like record the entire track, but like 2.5 just of just chilling and enjoying the moment.
Yeah. Was that a beat that you already made up, or is that something?
No, he had said that he wanted like a dancehall track.
Yeah.
And so I had found, I had created that, and then I went on it, and then at first you were like, that's not what I'm trying to like. Because you wanted to be like, and like
I
that
want
was
to
like
do
the
some
vibe you wanted, but like I just
real
started singing,
dance
"We're
hall,
from
like,
the
yeah.
block a night or two," and then we were like indifferent towards it. Like that's not really what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But then it kind of grew on us, and then we put it on SoundCloud.
Yeah, like for me, like, cause like I said, like with YHS, like I grew up like going to the club and hearing like the dance hall shit. So, like I'm more trying to sound like I was trying to be like thinking like Vibes Cartel, Busy Signal,
Okay,
like
so
like
a little bit
yeah, like
early
that.
2000, late 90s, early 2000s.
And that's the type of shit I was thinking. And like the beat like was there, but like I know he's not like a dance hall background and knows like a lot of the sound of dances. So like which is like I can appreciate now because like but we did our own take of like his personal his feeling like and like of the beat that he can write well to, and same like me, and I did my own thing too. But in my own head, I was like I wanted to sound like something we can play in a club to, like my boy's a DJ, like we could play it there and girls would be dancing and love the vibe. But to like I said to him, I was like, oh, it's not as what I was feeling like in that moment, because like it wasn't, but it was still a great song and a great vibe for people to love, because a lot of people fucking loved it, but it definitely wasn't the vibe that we needed to play like a club and shit to get people dancing. But it was a great vibe song and like a feel good song.
I think ultimately we juxtaposed it like to the point where like it was like a beat that we were typically would never do, but we kind of put like the spin on it.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a track that luckily still, like, we performed it a couple months ago. It's still a track that lingers.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
good. It's a fucking
thing.
3 years old at this point. So.
It's 3 years. I didn't even realize.
Yeah,
3 years.
we made it.
Honestly,
It was dropped on SoundCloud like months
Yeah.
before it came out on stores.
okay.
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably my favorite song you guys both made together. Was that one, because the vibes on it. I'm more that area of it, so like, I really enjoyed that track. A little bit different.
I loved it. The sound of it. It was just great. It was like I feel like a lot of our music is more like driving in the car, like just open world, just driving, like just listening, because it's just like something that like, you can really sit and grasp your mind onto and like take in the lyrics and what we're saying, like, and it's not just like we're trying to like use y'all to like make y'all feel the way and get a vibe. Like a lot of people like to make like where they just try to get like the TikTok famous and clickbait views to go where we love that too, but like we're not about that. Like we like to just be authentic and feel great and like make good music that people can enjoy to. At the end of the day, it's not about even being famous, but just like putting our own hearts and minds and souls at that moment of time out there for people to like listen to.
Yeah. So, is the next project coming out the Wild East Industry? That's going to be part 2.
Yep.
So that's going to be the next project that comes out. Is that going to be a summer release, fall release, spring release?
We're fucking pretty damn close to being done with it right now.
Okay.
We want to work out that thing with the brewery, see if we can debut it there. Probably don't want to drop it too far away from when we actually end up performing it.
Yeah, that's.
I'm not sure. None of the details for that are really worked out yet. We do have to work that out. But we're gonna have 9 tracks on the project. I think we're like 7.5 tracks done.
Okay.
And
is there any features on it, or is it just YouTube? The whole
actually,
thing?
I thought about that the other day.
No.
So we had Fry and Cheech on the first Wild East,
Which is YHS's younger brother, and then my roommate, who was on the first Wild East Industries, my roommate was on Just Wait, and then No Funds was YHS's brother.
Yeah,
and
No Fun's probably a like marquee,
we have a
marquee
video
track
for that
right
too,
now.
that was definitely a different type of track that we did, which was another. Ended up being a great vibe.
Very positive reception, which is good. But no features on this one. Which
Okay.
So it's essentially a no feature project, although it's 2 people, so you
Yeah.
can't really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's easier to do it that way.
That's what I love though. It's like we're both our own artists, but like since we started, like me and him love talking about like, oh, we don't want to be seen as a duo, but in my mind it's like I don't either. But we did this shit together, and like people know our sounds, and every time we make something that's together, it just meshes so well, and it just like sounds so great. That's just like for me, it's just like, how can I not want to share that moment and want to keep doing the same shit with the same person
Yeah.
who we started from? Like, guys that we're in, like, where even tonight, like, he wasn't necessarily worried, but like, he didn't want to intrude on what we're doing tonight. But for me, it's like, fuck all that, dude. Like, we are like, it's us against the world. I don't need to fucking try and one up you and get something else. It's like, but if we can both be here right now,
Yeah.
we can both live in the moment, both fucking leave here, smile and hype at each other and go home and just build from that. Like, there needs to be no one up another. Like, I believe that if I can do anything for my friends, if we can do whatever, we're gonna fucking do it. Cause he has way more talent than I have, and for us to come this far and have like you and other people like just like believe in us to have give us an opportunity to come, it means the world to us, and we don't take for granted anything that we've been given.
What's exciting about this Wild East Industry 2 is that it's a lot more in your face than the first one was.
Okay.
Because you look back on the first Wild East Industry, it's really fucking mellow.
Yeah.
Like, outside of no funds, and everything's really mellow on that project. This one's like, I can't even, because it's a lot more in your face, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of just, it's really like jazz influenced.
Okay.
It pulls from a lot of different directions on this one, and I'm excited to, because it's all power tracks, you know what I mean? Not really many seconds wasted on it, so that's what I'm excited about.
Nice. Is there any skits or anything like that? Do you guys think about doing any of those?
No, have we done a skit yet?
We've only done like
done
we've done one
skits.
for like at the ends of a few songs, but
Yeah.
technically it wasn't even a skit. It was just like us just letting our goofy side kind of like
you
have a little
do
ride.
transitions.
Yeah, we do
the
like a
next
cool
tracks.
transition.
We actually do
funny,
have to add
goofy.
some transitions in this, so we have.
Yeah, we definitely do.
But I get a little skittish for like the last 20 seconds of certain tracks.
Yeah.
It's typically more on like my own solo stuff that I've done that, but we haven't done any. Wild East Industry 2, we're looking to, I don't know if we're gonna do any skits because it's more of like it's like one track right into another. Like, it's like a condensed. I wouldn't say it's condensed. It's a 9-track, like probably 30-something minute project. But like I said, no time wasted. It's all just fucking back to back.
Okay. Any music video ideas coming out with it or no?
We haven't done one in a while.
We haven't, yeah, cause like I mean, me and him have been talking about like doing our own, like you know, like Earl Sweatshirt, like type like after he blew up and like when Ghost and came back, like type shit, like iPhone videos, like Cole Bennett, like,
Yeah.
something like that. It's just like where it's like authentic but not like too extra. To where like a lot of like I've seen like with a lot of our music too that like where it's hard with videographers, cause around here like we'll find certain people we like, but then they're often asking us what other people are paying who
Yeah.
might be in a better position than they are. So then they want to charge us vice versa for other people than like liking our sound and worry about building connections. Where we have a great dude who is like Darkside. He shot a video for me, and it's not towards him because he like has celebrity artists and he still has his doors open for me and like Ryan to do whatever we want, but like in a sense of like respect wise, like he makes great commission and great sales to where we're not going to disrespect him and go out of the way to have a certain thing and like tell him how we should produce and make his own video. But where to other kids will ask us to know that we worked at him, but then want to make us pay the same price of a video for Darkside when they're using the same edits that they've used for the last 3 years. It's like it's hard with videographers in this area because a lot of people want to charge either crazy amounts or then knowing where some people might charge them for free or whatever, and it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna pay you $1,000 to do something for kids. Like, isn't that like? It's just a whole lot of things for us. Like, we'd love to stay like ourselves and don't want to like sell out or like just look dumb, because we've seen with this area a lot of people like drama and anything they hear, they love talking about it and putting it on your name. It's just like we've done nothing but stay far from drama and given everyone love and treated everyone with respect. So it's just like, we don't want to go out looking for disrespect to other people. Like, we just want to stay, maintain ourselves and do everything ourselves.
My biggest gripe with the I'm really interested in the idea of doing, like, I like shitty music videos, just like a thing that I like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm big Danny Brown, Earl Sweatshirt.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
they just make shitty music videos.
Yeah.
I've always been drawn to it. And I've realized like because I've only ever been on like videos because he gets the connections with the videos. So like every track that I've had a video for has been with him, and you know we worked with some great people, great videographers, but like they call the shots in the videos, and so like I'm just looking forward to. We could have done it by now. We just haven't because we're more focused on making the music, but we want to hone in on a track, and I'm just trying to because I can edit videos to an extent, and I just want to make like a simple music video where we're just kind of doing our own shit, walking around, fucking around. I just always was drawn to stuff like that. So soon we will make a made in-house video. I think that's probably the next move before we go to someone else. Unless a good opportunity arises, but we'll see.
Nice. So, coming out soon, Wild East Industry Part 2. Anything else you guys want to add? Anything else planned besides the album release and all that other stuff?
So we're gonna drop WEI 2 in like a couple months max, I would imagine, because it's pretty much done. And then after that, we're just gonna keep going.
Nice.
Just see what else that brings.
Yeah, we usually don't like. That's what I think is great about it. It's like we don't hold ourselves to stipulations and what we need to be doing. It's like we both work 9 to 5s to like randomly in any part of the day we'll hit each other like, oh, I'm free, like, and then I got out early or whatever, and we hit each other up, come together, and starts from scratch, and just in the moment of what we're feeling and what we feel would sound good, we do what we're doing, and it's been working out, which I think again, which is great for us, and like the authenticity, because it's like we're not trying to create too much of an output, but we're also not doing too less.
Yeah.
To where like a lot of people can say like, oh, we don't post as much, you ain't dropping. It's like, yeah, but we're creating. We don't need to fucking drop it, but our catalog has been building to where I think about a year and a half ago, we would drop stuff and then the whole catalog what you could have is we have nothing, so we'd be dropping song to song. So now we have like 20 songs plus, I mean like I'd say like 10 songs plus the other like 9 from the new album that we have, and it's just like now we can pick and choose and work on and edit and do whatever we want. I feel like that's like a better chemistry of just like doing it than telling ourselves, oh, we need to do this for a certain sound. We need like, because I realized how we've recorded, we've sometimes came in saying, oh, we need to have a certain sound and a different vibe, and it's thrown off our whole recording session to where when we just make something on the fly and just go with it, it's came out perfect to my sense every single time.
I will say, if I were to add anything, I wish we made music in the 90s.
Yeah.
Or sometime before social media, because I think the whole social media presence and whatnot, that whole stigma that like you need to be like on TikTok, you need to be all this shit, like I'm anti. That's like I'm in my own fucking lane. Like I can't stand the TikTok. I can't stand any of that. I don't even have the app. I don't like. So I just wish that wasn't what it took anymore.
Yeah.
I wish like people could hear it and that was it, and like you could make your decision based off the sound. As opposed to like, you know, what's he doing to fucking reach out to his fans or all that stuff. Like, I just wish like, you know, you hear a bunch of people say this, but like the whole born in the wrong generation thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if we made music in an age before social media, because I think it'd be a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the authentic vibes nowadays, they're overshadowed.
Yeah.
To where
Everything's
you could be
so
a great person,
oversaturated.
but one like weird saying or one you being goofy one time could make them be like, oh, I don't fuck with them, like I don't want that around me, like I think differently, I think that. It's just like a lot of people shut themselves off to doors that can be endless fucking hallways and endless fucking elevations to where they just say, oh, that's the person, I think who they are and what they're gonna be like, and then they just shut the door to realize that's someone who they can get. And that's why I think this area though it builds a lot of jealousy, is because a lot of people get close to each other but then cut them off. And then that one person is so like another person gets bigger and starts doing some positive things, and they get envious, saying, "Oh, like well, I could have been with them, but I did it to myself." And it's just like it's a lot of mixed like emotions with this area, but there's a lot of amazing things that happen again to where people the hate always overshadows, because it's just people are like, you know, people care about drama and things that are clickbait more than, oh, like he did this, that's great, because that creates again the tension and envy of. And jealousy of other people, which is just a weird time we live in, to where it's just so hard to like be genuine and like do what you want without having any sort of hate or like backlash.
No, completely agree. I feel like I know when I was starting to somewhat get into music and stuff like that, I went out to LA I met a few people out there, and my personal experience, the energy was like, stayed at a house that Kaylani used to live at, and we'd have like 30 people over there every single day. They would just make music left and right. I don't see that here. I feel like there's never that connection of just constantly just making some side of art.
And I feel you because you can have a few people, but I feel like in this area, when you get like more than like a 15 amount, like average amount of people, then egos start battling, and then without even words, there's dudes already in the mentals looking at each other like trying to like decipher who they think is like cool, who they think is a fucking fake, and like there's just so many of that where around here, like you always have to battle that. And I've been in situations like that all the time to where, like me for example, like I've been around people where, again, I'm the pussy white boy, the skinny white pussy, but then when they get to know me, they're like, you're a great fucking dude, like, and you're not a pussy. It's just like, but my looks and how I act and how I portray myself, I can see why people can see that. But in reality, it's like, if you just gave me the time to have genuine conversation, you'd be like, oh no, he's just is different from what they're thinking. Like a lot of people, again, they just love thinking of what they perceive and what they think people should perceive, to where this area is just held to so many stipulations of everything. To where a lot of people are great but don't be great because they're worried about their friends saying who they're hanging out with, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just an endless amount of fucking worries for so many people.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it.
I can't thank you enough. It was great, honestly.
Appreciate you.
We'll have you guys on the podcast at some point.
Of course.
100%.
Alright.
Like I said, you have a great spot. And
Appreciate
your
it.
fucking questions were honestly fucking amazing. I was not expecting some.
Yeah. Thank you guys.